communicated through the county assemblies, which are mandated by law.
All right, we'll continue to wait for dialogue, but let's look at the nation headlines, because it's more or less the same story, and also see on that dialogue why Jubilee and NASA aren't agreeing. Well, this would almost presuppose like they have tried to talk, but I don't know if there's been any negotiations or any dialogue so far. And well, according to NASA, and I don't know if this script has changed from the beginning, because as we were getting towards the end, or rather, towards the end of the electioneering period, NASA insisted that they're going to have dialogue, but only on electoral reforms. Whereas Jubilee said the only conversation that we're going to have is on development. So it looks to me like they never really had a consensus right from the beginning.
But again, Gitonga, you have to understand that any time we talk of dialogue coming out of an election, we are trying to belittle what democracy is. Democracy is about numbers. If you are beaten in terms of numbers, it means why are we dialoguing? Why should two people dialogue? What we need now is a national dialogue on things like transport, on things like food security, on the top, the big four, the agenda that the president has presented.
But don't you agree that currently, after the kind of election that we had, and the fact that the elections were contested, first of all, NASA did win as a petitioner, the first one, then they pulled out of the election, that we, to some degree, have a country that is divided, that is not in agreement in terms of even the office bearers. Yes, they're constitutionally in place and they have already been sworn in, but there are those who feel that possibly they were disenfranchised by the election.
But the population that was disfranchised by an election will not and will never be brought back by the two talking, by, let's say, Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila talking. Look at it this way, Gitonga. We have elections worldwide. We have had a very divisive election in America, whereby majority voted for somebody who is not president. Did we have talks between Democrats and Republicans? No. But the issue is, we have people in this country who think for leadership to be properly constituted, they must be there. They are not the furniture or the woodwork in the constitutional offices. These are people's offices. And any dialogue we are doing from this point is the dialogue of how we are going forward, not the dialogue of how so-and-so should get something. Because the danger we are running into, tomorrow, if today we start talking that if I lose an election, I must talk to the winner, discussing what? Are we reducing the principles of democracy?
The issue, Oliver, is not necessarily just losing an election, but losing an election fairly, because according to NASA, it was not held fairly. There was a lot of flaws that possibly meant that their chances that they could have won. But, of course, now the argument being it was not fairly done. So the issue is not losing, but the issue is losing fairly.
The other question will be, this election, the 26th election, was subjected to all checks. Even it was the same Supreme Court that nullified the other election, and it was found to be above board. So when you say there was an election that was rigged, which election? You pulled out of the election. Elections which we ought to be talking about now are the ones you participated, and the court nullified them. They are nullity in law. They did not exist. So I think whenever we talk about this, and then when we talk about dialogue, we have Parliament. Parliament has the systems of enhancing national dialogue in this country, because we have a representative from Suba, we have one from Mandera. When we talk of dialogue within the presence of Parliament or the Constitution mandated systems, we are in place. But when we talk of dialogue where individuals sit and take tea or coffee, we lose the point, because why should it be Uhuru and Raila and not Uhuru and Kipchumba? Why should it be Uhuru and Raila and not Uhuru and Getonga or Uhuru and Aukot? Because the table of this country should be wide enough for the 45 million, not 2 million.
Well, that's what we have on the headlines.